Alright, hi everyone. We're gonna get started. Do you guys want to take a seat? Hi, Jan. Do you guys want to take a seat? Yeah. Hi, so my name is Lisa Ma. I'm with Blockchain Founders Forum, and thank you for coming today. I've been looking. Can you guys hear me in the back? I'll try to talk loud, yeah.
Let's do it for the live stream video. That's what I was getting at. That's what we do. Usually works.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. So, this is Fred Lim, CEO of IOTW, and we also would like to thank Stock and John here, who is helping with the venue event. So thank you for coming. This is actually a blockchain co-working space, so if you're looking for a co-working space, John, actually, why don't you introduce Stock's pitch a little bit?
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Many of you have been to the space, but maybe some of you have not. We're a blockchain community. We really connect around peer-to-peer learning and peer-to-peer education. And we set a self-organized space for people like Jenny and Fred, Lisa and Fred to come up here and explain their passion and their projects that they're working on. We also have co-working for now. We might turn into a peer-to-peer incubator. Keep posted. So thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a great space. Thank you. So as I mentioned, I'm the founder of Blockchain Founders Forum. I also co-produce a lot of large blockchain conferences. So if you're interested in learning more about this space, let me know. I can connect you to a lot of events. I do host smaller events for special projects like IOTW, which is really about connecting with the community. So we have Fred Lim here all the way from Hong Kong. So Fred is very humble, so I think when you look up his profile, it does not really showcase who he truly is. So just to tell you a little bit about Fred. So Fred was one of the executives who helped Acer go IPO in Taiwan. He was also managing director of Asia Pacific for Anthropic Communications and helped that go IPO. He has 10 patents and 2 patents pending on blockchain technology. He's the inventor of proof of assignment, and which he's going to tell you more about later. Actually, Fred also invented a number of products that you use today that was done with Apple and Microsoft. I'll let Fred talk more about that actually and introduce yourself, and then we can go into the presentation. Thank you.
2 standard committee I started. One is the USB open host controller with Microsoft. The other one is a 39.A, which at the end Apple blended as a FireWire. I started with Mike Tina from Apple. So when I was young, I was an architect. Right now, I've become more a businessman now, unfortunately. Now, I start my talk by playing a video, and then I go into talk a little bit about the technology, and think I owe somebody answer on how the token appreciates better, which I will talk a little bit about later on. Okay?
How to spend IOTW coins. Just download IOTW wallet for free. Now, everyone around the world can share the resources online without limitation. How to get IOTW coins. Turn your IoT devices into mining machines to earn IOTW coins anywhere, anytime. Or buy IOTW coins from the market. How to spend IOTW coins. Using IOTW coins. In the IOTW network, you can buy goods, services, media content such as films and music in an open market. The transactions take place instantaneously. IOTW network also provides a B2B platform for manufacturers and service providers to trade in real time. More importantly, the IOTW network enables data exchange between machines. Your devices can call for services automatically. End users can sell their big data and specific IoT device data to manufacturers and service providers. IOTW is a revolutionary blockchain network with AI collaboration services for the Internet of Things. It is a fast and easy way to pay for everything in life.
Well, probably a boring video. Let's go for the exciting of the talk. And maybe. Now, let me ask the questions. What is the biggest problem on our industry right now in blockchain? Anybody? What is our problem today? Scalability. Okay, that's true. You're all right. Anybody else? Adoption. That's right too. Now, if I go to China, I ask them, what's the biggest problem? They answer one thing, price. Damn, the price sucks. That's what they say all the time. And honestly, the total market cap is small. It's $200 billion, a little bit over that. It's smaller than one single high-tech company, right? So it's quite small. One of the reasons is just like what Katir and this gentleman here is saying. Actually, the adoption and the scalability is low. So with billions of dollars, actually blockchain cannot go to every household, or very few people know about blockchain. So the classical money does not come into the blockchain world, and the development and the application are not quite there yet. So that is what my team trying to do and resolve. Okay, our goal is try to bring blockchain into every household. That is our goal. And my background is that I've done, and some of my team members also have done IoT device for many years, so we know that industry well. Okay, so IoT devices by 2020 is about 30 billion. I forget how many there are now. It's many billion. Each person has a few of those. Imagine what happened if each of those devices can earn some token for you. So we developed algorithm and also a consensus protocol called proof of assignment, and then an algorithm called micromining, and we can put a firmware inside any connected device, allow them to mine. And because of that, then the end user will get token in their hands. When you get money in your hands, maybe you want to spend, so you'll find a way, they will find a way to spend. Then we are creating different marketplaces for them to spend. Let's take a look at how that is done. Now this is goal, right? Bring blockchain to every household. So we are using these two techniques. Now the proof of assignment basically is a multi-level queuing system. There's no competition. It's fast, we actually the ledger, because the IoT devices, a lot of them are actually very simple microcontroller. So the ledger actually taking it up. The ledger we call it a trusted node. Each trusted node will be able to connect to 1,000 IoT devices. So with same number of nodes, our number of ledger is a lot less. So the overall, with same number of nodes, our total network is a lot smaller than others. And we also have other crypto protocols which make it much more secure than other blockchain, which I'll talk a little bit later. Okay, the first is that IoT devices need to be simple, need to do mining, and we accomplish that. And let me show you one thing here. In here, in each board, we have 10 mining machines on top of it. And this chipset is called Expressive, and which is done in Shanghai. We did not do the silicon. We only put in our micro mining software. And later on, I will demonstrate. Then they are doing the mining. And basically, we are giving out the software for free. So the software can go into these devices through the semiconductor vendor, or if the product is shipped, will be through firmware update into those products, so they can start doing the mining. So the end user start getting the token in their hands. And we are actually a real blockchain, not like IOTA. IOTA is not quite real blockchain, and but they have their own way of saying how good it is. But we are, since blockchain is very much proven on their security and the way it's operating. So actually we are real blockchain. We are obeying all the rules of the blockchains. So our operation and everything is quite follow blockchain, and security is quite follow blockchain. On top of it, we are adding a witnessing protocol on top of the common blockchain, and the witnessing protocol is something like that. First of all, the ledger beside the LD device to sign up a block, it also requires different other ledger to witness it. And if you want to take down our system, besides take down the trusted node, the ledger, the fundamental ledger of doing that verification, you have to take down other part or other ledger who are the witnessing. The ledger is selected in random, is stored in a secondary blockchain. With that, actually will make it much more secure than other blockchain. Okay, we talked about this. Okay, this describes basically the way it is done. If the trusted node address ledger is going up on top of it. Now, after the people getting the token, what are they use the token for? The IoT device manufacturer who sell the IoT device to the owner, to the user, which actually got the token through micromining, they always want to upsell. Right now, all the partner I have all wanted to sell the token, all wanted to upsell their stuff into the end user. Let me give you an example. One of my alpha sites actually is the amplifier. They need to sell filter into back to their end user. So in the device they're connected. When they're connected, and they also looking at whether the filter is in time get replaced, they will inform the end user. And the mining token will allow the end user to purchase those devices, those filters, using the token they have. And besides that, some gaming vendor or some, for example, California Wine, one of the distributors signed up with us, they will sell their goods to those token holders because it's just a new sales channel for them. Now, the question comes down to is that if just buying stuff, then the token does not go in value, right? What should we do? If the token doesn't go in value, why should we even invest in the token? That's the big question, right? Now, there's several ways the token can go up in values. Let me talk about a couple ways first. One is the big data. Currently, there's no other method to collect big data across different manufacturers on IoT devices. But since we are giving out tokens or not giving out, people are mining the tokens, that means different manufacturers will be on our network. In that way, we can collect the big data legally. Why illegally? Because if the end user want to mine the tokens, they have to say yes, right? So I have a right, or the manufacturer's right, to use the data in certain restricted format. If the end user does not say yes, you don't have the right to use those big data. So in that way, I can collect big data across different manufacturers. And the IoT device manufacturer will want to look at the data to do their selling and also to find their potential customers. So as time goes by, more and more data get created. In order to purchase or use the data, the manufacturer has to, by the rule, to go to the exchange, buy the IOTW to pay for the data. In this way, since more and more data created every day, the data get purchased by the manufacturer and given back to us or the communities. And right now I'm still thinking whether I should burn some of the tokens. I have to find out whether it's legal or not, right? Because if I burn, let's say, by the profit, that is illegal because it's using the token. But just because of a transaction to burn the token might be legal. I'm not checked with lawyer yet. Let's assume I don't burn the token. Even that, the token will come back to us. The supply will get less. The data will get more. So this is one way the token will go up in value. Okay? The second way, profiling. So we are going to do profiling on all these devices. What profiling means, what does it mean? A lot of the white good manufacturers, actually, they don't know how. They actually don't know how. They know how to put a network onto their devices, but they don't know how to utilize the devices and to their benefits. So I'm working with another company called IoT Block. I might be more partner later on to build different profile software for those IoT devices. A refrigerator is different than an air conditioning or different than a cell phone. Okay. So we will write that firmware, write the back-end support, and write the diagnostic to do that. At least, if people know about cell phone, basically MediaTek, for example, in Taiwan, they build a whole kit, and people just change the shelf, and then they have their own cell phone. That's how China do the business. And China is the same thing. China is 50% of white goods manufactured in China right now, and probably majority of the cell phone. So we are just building this reference design profile by profile, working with different companies. And with that, the selling of the diagnostic and the software will be all in using the IOTW. And that will come back, some of it will come back to us or come back to the community, which will decrease the supply. The same thing. If legally I can burn some of it, I will. So to decrease the supply, to increase the token values. So all those things need to be figured out with the lawyer. Okay, so these two methods actually will push the token to go up higher. The third one, right now has 6 companies finding me to use my token either for their own ICO or for the internal use. Why do they want to do that? First of all, if the company is doing IoT related, for example, like logistic company, they have a lot of the reader for the what was that? RFID tag. So you don't want to put a ledger on your reader. You want to put a ledger on the second level, like us. And then one ledger support many different readers. So our blockchain is designed to do that. So that's why they like to adopt a blockchain. And for example, if you're a retailer, you have cash register, right? Many of them. You don't want to put ledger in every single cash register. But when you want to encourage people to take the token because of other benefit, you might get the token appreciating value, whatever that might be. The transaction go overseas, your banking is overseas easier, whatever that might be. You might want to encourage that behavior. If you want to encourage that behavior, we have the mining capability to reward that cash register, to convince people to use the token to do that transaction. Things like that. The same, if they use our blockchain, by the way, we patented all those, all the things we are doing. So if you do software for my blockchain, everything is free. If other people want to do ICO, they have to pay. Might not be pay me, might be paying the community. We'll figure it out later on. And with those payments, or we tax some of the transaction, basically. In that case, more token demand will be created. When I 6 companies, I think out of those 6, 3 of them are public companies, pretty sizable. Actually, some of them our discussion is really big. Not as big as SoftBank, but it's like halfway there. Whether I succeed or not, I don't know for that one. But anyway, with all this, we'll push the token to go higher. Okay? That makes sense? By the way, if you have any other suggestion how to push the token higher, let me know. I really want to hear it. Everybody wonder, right? If I do this project, token go to toilet level, I waste my life. So I want everybody to make money. And I also want this to go into every single household, and that is the important part of it. Right now, if so little people know about blockchain, I don't know whether you know about it. I think in China, it's only 5 million people invest in blockchain, and they are one of the biggest ones already. So you can imagine if 5 million become 15 million, what that investment would be. And that's what we want. And then the thing get deployed. Okay, this describe the user case. You can buy stuff. Okay, let me describe a little bit. Right now, the partner I have already signed up and already in engineering stage. I just mentioned this is expressive. They sold about 100 million units, but this one is not a partner because they are open source. I'll just take their device and point and just use it. So other solution provider just take my code. Later on, I will open source my code and just do their own IoT devices, right? And the second company we do work with them closely is Realtek, the biggest wireless LAN chipset in the world. They ship 400 million units a year, so it's pretty big. The third one I'm working with, I'm under NDA, I cannot say the name at this moment. It's a set-top box chipset company. They ship 60 million units a year, mainly ship to Europe. They are retail set-top box people more than for the operator. And for the for the IoT devices, I'm right now only selecting alpha side because I have many years in the industry. Take two company IPO. If I do things very quickly, any bug will kill me. So I do it slowly. The first company signed up is called JoyStyle. The backing of that company is by a company called VS, the biggest white good manufacturer in Malaysia. They ship 20 million units a year. They only take 150K of the, actually I asked them not to give me more project. One project, 150K air purifier. Under the name called JoyStyle to do it. And so we're plotting the micro mining code over there now. And the second one we are doing is called Bortec. Bortec is a Christmas light manufacturer, and they are launching their IoT Christmas light. Of course, they want their Christmas light to mine. The Christmas light you buy from in Costco is from them. And besides Christmas light, we are going to co-launch later on our IoT label under our brand. At the beginning, we might want to give it up. And then we share the mining money. Let's say I took $100,000, I give out 50,000 label. And after we mine some money, we go to buy another 100,000 label and give it up. Either give it out at a low price, just triple the market to start. So very quickly, I believe that we can have hundreds of thousands or millions, even by just giving out label. But you think about it, you buy a label, even though you buy it in the full price, right now it's about $5 in Asia. $5 IoT label. And you can buy $50 a year, you really have a damn good deal. And then you buy one label, it lasts a lifetime, because whatever you mine, you can continue buy the label. So that's what we're doing with this company. And then Realtek also has other company, has design house who design very good. They ship to TCL, MIDI, Cree, all those brand name, or Hisense. And those design house, one of the design house invest by Realtek founders doing design, have the IOTW in it right now. So now those are my alpha site to initially ship out end unit to trigger the market. Actually, I have more people want to sign up, which I cannot handle. My team is still small. Now, talk about that. Let's talk about the person who wants to sell on the network, taking IOTW as payment. Now, number one is, actually the first one I signed with California Wine. This distributor has been in business for 26 years. They take Napa Valley wine to sell to Asia. I think they're the second biggest wine distributor in Thailand. So they are going to accept our token as payment. All the company I told you before that is actually the IoT device manufacturer. All of them will take IOTW as payment because they are part of the ecosystem right now. So far, any questions? Okay. So we kind of run through the business model. Oh, the revenue model. Now, the thing is that how can my company survive? If I don't make money, who cares? We die anyway. So the way that we survive is basically we do during all the transactions we will have take a transaction fee. The transaction fee we have not fixed it yet. My thinking is has to be less than Visa, might be around 0.6% or slightly higher. The reason why 0.6% is the target, I might be higher. If I can be higher, I will be higher. 0.6% is what WeChat Pay is charging. Nobody cares what WeChat Pay, how much we charge, because they're so low. So 0.6% I calculate that is pretty good already for operating a company of our size. So that is the way that we keep our company alive. Of course, when we work with other companies to help them to go ICO or internal chain, if we tax on the transaction, those will come back to my company or the whole community later on if we have a community working on a different portion of it. It does not need to be only my company, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about POW, POS, and POA. Now, POW, I think everybody knows, right? It burns a lot of power, and it's not green, and it's slow. So I think in the future, people are moving away from it. And it's only benefit the people who has very big machines. Actually, you have big pocket, you can do it. Yeah. So I think they all know about POW. Everybody know, right? Everybody know about POW, right? Okay, all right. POS. Yeah. POS basically is the guy who richer get richer. You have more token, you post it up. I have so much token, then you win the mining rights, right? If you think about the first and second one, it's not quite decentralized, right? You have money, you mine more. So the richer get richer. And POA is different. POA is queuing system. Basically, but with priority. Basically, after you finish queuing, you go back to the end of the line, you wait. Wait your next turn. But in the whole system, the waiting could be different. For example, we might want to encourage certain behavior. For example, like playing games. The longer you play, the more token you can mine, right? But the game will not be 24 hours. Air condition can be 24 hours, so the waiting of time could be different. Watching video, for example, if I know YouTube won't use it, but then I'm talking to another company called Asia Web TV. They're just like YouTube in Asia. They already have a few million users already. So their average video watching is like 3 to 5 minutes. So if I want to encourage that behavior, their priority has to be how many movies you watch, right? For how many minutes. So on this priority scheme, we can program individually changing it, the priority, and how you count your right to go mine. So, but in general, everybody got a chance to mine. No matter how you program it, we make sure that everybody got a chance to mine. Although there's a flexibility you can program. So basically, it's a queuing system. What is good about queuing system? You already know who is going to mine ahead of time. Although even I say that it's a randomly played with a group, you already know which group is going to mine. Let's say that group is 100 people or 1,000 people, doesn't matter. Within 100,000, then you select one randomly and pick it up. So you already know which one to mine. And because you already know, the speed is very quickly to reach that consensus. So the network speed is quicker. Now, let me say other thing. Our ledger, because one ledger can support 1,000 IoT devices, so with the same amount of node, our network actually is a lot smaller. The smaller means actually is faster. It costs a lot less, right? I just mentioned it before. We did not do any clustering yet or optimization yet. We already did the testing. On the transaction is done in Hong Kong with our verification done in US, we reached 3,000 transactions per second. So it's pretty fast already. This is the real world number. This is not like a number done in the lab, everything inside my lab. If everything inside my lab, my gut feeling is we have to test it more thoroughly. It's 100,000 per second right now. So we're pretty fast. But I have too many work to do. I have to put up a demo, put up a fundamental test before that, and I'll publish it to the world. To have the test condition, we can reach 100,000 transactions per second. But right now, real life, we're 3,000. 3,000 actually is faster than PayPal. I can do instant transaction. PayPal is like a couple hundred. Some of my competitor, like LTA is 3. So far, I think the measurement number. I think the Bitcoin is 7, and I think Ethereum is like 25. My settling time is like the transaction we do is like a couple seconds right now at this moment.
Fred,
Yes?
how much is PayPal's you said?
I'm sorry?
How much is PayPal's you said?
How much is?
How many seconds or whatever is settlement is PayPal's?
PayPal, I don't know how many seconds because I only look it up from the web.
Oh,
There are 193 transactions per second. That's how I see it. Actually, in our website conversion, in this presentation, we stay where it comes from. It's just I look at it from the magazine. Magazine published number is 193. But the fastest one actually is Visa. Visa published a number in 2010, but people don't quite believe it because the condition is not clear. It's 24,000. But other blockchain, I think US 3,000. US is pretty fast, and Ripple is like 15,000, right? 1,500 Ripple. That's how I saw it on the published number. And if it's in-house test condition is not higher, you'll hear much higher number. This is real life measurement number. Okay. Talk about power. I nearly forget talk about power. On our micro mining right here, actually each mining machine burn about 0.5 watt, and including the wireless LAN already. So it does not really impact anybody's household utilities today. So because of that, if it burns a lot of energy, the end user will not like it. So in order for all these things to penetrate every household, first of all, it cannot increase in price, which we already said is just a piece of firmware. The second is it cannot use much power. If it does, it doesn't work either. So we're able to accomplish both. That's why the big public company, big name, is start adopting the solutions. So anything I'm missing? Am I covering them all? Okay. Oh, competitive analysis. We are compared to IOTA. So 3 TPS versus 3,000, right? So this is one comparison. The other thing is that they claim that they don't mind and it's a better thing. For me, because I use the mining token to encourage people to adopt the network, so it's important to me. That's why I have to mine. And I'm real blockchain. I'm more proven than I think IOTA is not a real blockchain. So there's a lot, but I did not put in a lot of time to study their security problem. But I saw a lot of paper published talking about the problem in their security. And I think in 2007 they also have issues on that. So, but I don't dig into it deeply. But there's quite a few magazines covering that, saying that that's the issue. Okay, they can do microtransaction, and so are we. And deployment. I checked on the website. They only deploy about 2,000 because they require pretty expensive hardware. I think the cheapest deployment they have is on a ROC 64 board, done by Pine 64, the company, and that board retail at $45 US. So you really require a microcomputer to run the software. We don't change the hardware at all for the end user. Now, granted, the second level, we do need to. Right now, our second level is built in Amazon, in AWS. So far, in all the tests, we run about $20. No, actually $200. I say something wrong. $200 on the server. About $5 can run about 20,000 devices for 1 month because of the way that we do the software and the way that they charge it. So that piece is very simple. And then we plan to put trusted nodes in Amazon, Google's, Microsoft, doesn't matter. If we do that, we force some of the witness on different platforms. If you want to kill my blockchain, you have to kill Amazon, kill Google's, or kill all three of them. And of course, other vendor or us can build the trusted nodes with their own machines. For example, I certainly believe the IoT manufacturer, they will build their own trusted node. Trusted node actually is the mining machine we have today. It could be an S9, it could be an NVIDIA graphic board, doesn't matter, or just a normal server. That trusted node will sit in the manufacturer's premises, and then they will manage all the IoT devices. Although the data flow will be in the network, so we will get the big data. But the trusted node will be, I believe the manufacturer will do their own trusted node. And with that, if you think about the whole network with the same number of nodes, let's say I want 1,000. If you think of it that way, actually with the same number of nodes, my network is several hundred times minimum cheaper than a network with the same number of nodes. That's one of the reasons why other companies finding us, even internal users, want to adopt this network. Okay. Any questions so far? Am I bore everybody to death? Some of it. Not that yet, Cindy. Okay, project status. Actually, we have 9,200 Ether raised it, and the hard cap is 65,000 Ether. Right now with Ether pricing, that's pretty damn low, but that's life, okay? And our planning of ICO is at the end of September, but we'll see how that turns out. And anything else I'm missing? Demo is here, and by the way, we have 200 units in our lab right now because it's too heavy. I only carry like 20 here. Later on, I can show it running, and we already built 1,000. We are putting up 1,000 nodes in my office. You know, the biggest problem is not this device, not the network. It's how I can get 1,000 nodes in my office with my wireless LAN router. That's pretty damn difficult. I have to program everyone differently in a different name because each router can only handle 60. And the chipset is done by Realtek. They can only do 60 per router. So I have many routers in my office. If you are expecting a baby, don't come to my office. It's horrible. So by the way, we do not turn it on unless a client come in like you guys or a visitor to do demonstration. We don't turn on the 200 machine or 1,000 machine, we don't do that. Too many routers. By the way, at home, if you have one wireless router, it's only connected to 60. I think 60 devices is long at home, so I think still good enough. Now, this is some of my partner. BIL Sportec is the LED company selling a Christmas light in Costco. IK Home is a design house which doing the manufacturing of actually their biggest customer is the range hood in China. What is this one? Oh, this is Motec. For whatever reason, it does not show. This is Motec. This is the Realtek downstream design house. Remotec, they are doing IoT devices. Oh, this, I'll talk about the middle one later on. Big Giant is one of the investors into us. Krypton is a $300 million crypto fund invest into us. G2H2 is a Stanford student fund. They basically students' money, but actually probably it's their parents' money. But it doesn't matter, they do. It's not a big one, but they sent engineers to evaluate my technology to see whether it's real. And end up 2 of the students become my advisor because they love it so much. And 0.95 Global is our market maker. It's very important to sustain the token values. Particularly us depends on the mining. If the token value is very low, the mining don't worth much money. So this market maker, the background is the Merlage. They are from UK Merlage, and everything was managed by software. It's one of the great market maker in the world. And the middle one, let me talk a little bit about it. This is GAN. Anybody know about GAN? GAN? Nobody know. Everybody know about semiconductor, right? Everybody know about silicon. This is new form of semiconductor. It's calcium nitride. So it's much faster, much quicker than silicon. They are using to switch heavy currents. The reason why they become our supporter is that, at first I don't want to bring up hardware, but right now I have to bring it up since they saw their name. Besides the blockchain, we were thinking about what happens if your device does not even have a wireless LAN at all, or Bluetooth. What I'm going to do? A lot of the devices like that. So we developed a software, and in the, how should I say, in the normal power supply, analog power supply, we will make it digital. Make it digital. Digital is supposed to cost more, but no. We use a software to cancel the EMI filter. So in anything, 300 watt or 400 watt and above, actually we save money. We will turn common power supplies into digital power supplies, which nobody can do it today. Okay? We will announce it and show our test result very soon, probably in the next month or so, after we filed our patent. We actually do all the measurement. We will show it to the world. We can do it. Now, once we can do that by turning analog into digital, the digital portion can run the mining code, because the mining code is very small and simple. And then I add wireless LAN onto it. If you are like a 1,000 watt device, actually you add wireless LAN, you still save money. So we are thinking about using the silicon to convert non-connected devices into connected devices, and also doing the mining. So that's what we're doing. This company this GAN is providing the switch in this silicon. And besides all that, this silicon will save about 1% of the efficiency of the whole system. So it saves power, it saves cost, and make it mining. Okay, now what is our value addition? Of course, first is the micro mining is cheap, proof of assignment, fair, and decentralized. And then the last is that we are highly secure because of the witnessing protocol. You can kill 90% of my trusted nodes and we still survive, or 95%. Now, one thing on the side we are doing, we were thinking about if we have this witnessing protocol, can I make my network quantum computing resistant? Nah, this is damn difficult. We are not successful yet, but we're working on it. One of my partners is one of the biggest Japan semiconductor company. Now, what am I doing on that? So witnessing protocol means that I can put one of the witness into a group of a trusted node. That group can be 700 machines, 100 machines, that's okay. But that machine can be expensive because if I have 100,000 machines, only 100 of them need that trust node. So I can develop a very expensive silicon on it. If that silicon is quantum computing resistant, that means the government cannot take down my blockchain, right? So we are working on an algorithm, but we are not successful yet on that. Look like it is going to be some old classic algorithm with about 300 bits or so. So if I can create that, I cannot export from US. But it's going to be done in Japan instead of US. Okay, we have a lot of dreams, right? But the focus is get this blockchain up and running. Now, this is our schedule. So, we are on our private sales right now. So that's why we get the 9200 Ether price drop. The lucky me, I did not keep Ether. I only have one Ether left in my wallet. So everything is not Ether. Everything is beyond. So that's good. And we expect the whole network launch to production 6 months after the ICO, and at that time we do a one-to-one exchange into from the ICO in the ERC20, and then we exchange it to our network in our coins, and then the coin will start mining at that time. And of course, we have to build our marketplace. And I already talked to other companies which they have certain skill to build marketplace. We will do our own and give it out open source. But I'm sure that other companies will come in using their own AI algorithm to mine the data and do more marketplace. So we were looking at specialized machine search engine and talking to different partners right now. And actually, I spin off another university research on that because search engine is slightly different. It's not only the user find the supplier, it's the supplier has to find the user. So we were looking at what's the best way to do that right now. So the blockchain today, the tester is running, everything look good. Now let's talk about people. I think Lisa introduced me. I had 2 IPO working on different standards. Actually, I was participating in the wireless LAN IEEE standard long time ago. PCI 6 also. And on top of what we're doing. Now, Martin Doody is our head of software, co-inventor of the proof of Simon. He has a very strange background. He is well famous at 10 years old because he decrypted all the X-rated movie in Europe and put it up on the web and sent it out for everybody to watch. So many people in Europe know about his login name. And he also is the first one to decrypt the PlayStation and the Nintendo. So when I go to Japan, actually there's a Japanese company, DDS, doing due diligence. When they heard the name, they know him because he decrypted the PlayStation is a big thing in Japan. And the first company we went IPO together is Acer Laboratory. The second, so he did 2 company IPO. The second company is called St. Martin, is in Nasdaq, IPO in Nasdaq. What he did is that he decrypted all the moves in Europe and combined it in Dubai. I thought these things are illegal, but turned out in Dubai is legal. And shipped to Europe and become Europe #1 retail set-top box. And then they IPO in Nasdaq. I thought these things are illegal, but it turned out it's legal. I don't know why. But he's a hacker. So the witnessing algorithm is developed by him, not me. I'm not that good. And I have 2 IPO. Martin has 2 IPO. My CFO, he used to his old job is an investment banker. He helped company go IPO. He helped about close to 20 million company IPO. Anybody familiar with Hong Kong? Anybody go there now? No. Okay. Anyway, one of the famous restaurants go IPO by him. Now the last guy, hey Peter, and the name gets what? Anyway, the guy on this side, he is the first guy built the accredited wireless testing lab in Hong Kong by actually the funding was from the government. So he know about wireless networking, everything well. And Dr. Patrick Hong, he used to teach in Stanford, a Stanford professor, lecturer, and also teach in Hong Kong University. He has many companies on his own. So all the founders, he's the guy who are not full-time because there's other company. Me and his company announced in early June in Computex, we built a USB Type-C wallet. The wallet is EAL level 5 security. So he built really high security wallet. And Chris is our head of software, and he has not done any IPO, but he has been a CTO for many different companies already. And Katit right here, our head of business development, he used to consult for Deloitte, so he know a lot about blockchain and their ICOs and what need to be done. And he is here located in US for now, at least. So he is my main contact in US. Okay, that concludes my talk. So those are the contact information. Any question or any suggestion, particular how to make the token increase in value? Any idea will be helpful.
So my question is around how do you engage trade desks or advertising networks to participate in the economy? Because advertising networks, they hold a lot of value because of cost per impression and cost per click. So how can we grow the value of like an advertising-based system that would handle like massive amounts of love? They're looking for collecting big data, but also earning value to incentivize people to give their data. Because it's not accurate. Like data that is given is not always accurate. Like a Facebook user that says that 18 can be 12. You know, so it's like advertising data is not always accurate as they say. And advertising networks are big players, you know?
Right. If these advertising networks are on IoT devices, then we can connect with them. For instance, how Alexa, right?
Yes.
You can use your Alexa to order an Uber.
Yes.
So if Uber engages with these advertising networks and you can start ordering your Uber, then you can start using the tokens to do that. So that's kind of how the advertising network will come into play. There won't be a direct role to play with an advertising network unless they have their own IoT devices or semiconductor chips, but they can come into play in an external.
So you need IoT devices to connect to the network.
Right.
Gotcha. That's the solution.
Yeah.
I have questions also. I've been doing blockchain for 2 years. I have a white paper, and what I'm doing, I'm exactly doing the same subject we got talking about. I actually made an app like Uber's and combined it with Alexa for travel systems. So the system was very successful. We tested, we did it. I think it's the token part of it that it's a kind of tackling issues. I am actually now on crowdfunding lives. I haven't decided the token sections of it. I went in to see if we could collaborate and we could tokenize because we're gonna use the token. This is what we say in the crowdfunding campaign. I wanted to see if we could, and actually this platform for Asia is very successful because Asia is a blockchain like friendly place. Since I have the app is functioning, it's in the app store already. It's called Eva Voice. I tested in the city, it triggers in the cities and everything. I wanted to use it. I wanted to use the blockchain actually dedicated, I wanted to dedicate 25% for users, minor, and drivers. So it become kind of almost like a social systems things that everybody benefit, and because 75% will go to others and 25% will go to these people who want to do something. Because the model of Uber is now becoming a large chip. There's no way they could tokenize their systems. So because they're really big, and it's very hard for them to turn around and do a blockchain and tokenize it, because it's rigid now. It's a lot of politics inside. And I am thinking, I came here today, I only live 3 blocks away. When I came here, I think I wanted to benefit from your guys and collaborate with you and see how we can lift up. I have a team and everything good to go.
Now, I am interested in cooperation. Of course, let's say my app actually has an avenue to go into your app if you can call something like Uber. But there's another company doing similar thing than you are from UK. And they are selling their token. I don't think they ended yet. They're in their ICO. I run into them in China. Actually, the sales team, some of the people from the sales team moved into my sales team. My sales director actually was from that company. So later on, let's talk offline. Maybe we can cooperate. But you should know about that company. This is their second ICO in the same company. I think the company is Mayfair. I think it's the name.
I saw them. I saw them in the internet. I studied them. I've been doing work on this.
They launched it in UK already, I think.
I saw these kids.
Yeah, so let's talk about
But mine is a lot more advanced.
it. Let's talk more about it.
Thank you, Fred. I know we're running a little bit low on time, so why don't we use this time for Q&A, actually, all right? One of the things that interests me a lot is hearing people's journey. So one question I would love to ask Fred is, you talked a lot about you worked at Silicon Valley, on 2 IPOs. Oh, awesome, thank you. So I would love to hear your journey and how you got from IPO to ICO and what you see as the rewards and challenges, just so that we can learn from your journey.
Now, IPO is more painful because in order to do IPO, your company has to reach certain size. And you have to sell a lot of your equity to reach that point. ICO you don't, because we're buying a token. Actually, it's quite different because you actually can control your company. That's why when I know, at first I don't know about ICO. I'm just doing my silicon and happy. In October, the lady I talked about the Mayfair come to me and try to sell me the coin of that thing, exactly the thing we talked about, or different, right? And I learned about it, I read about it, I start knowing blockchain to make big thing. I think there's a lot of utility on it. And I read through all that detective. Turns out there's a lot of things we can invent. Don't stop, there's a lot of things you can invent, you just need to map it to a real life application people can use. Right now it's not there yet. So whenever there's hope, there's opportunity, I want to move there. The second thing is that ICO give the founding team the control of the company. It's good or bad. If your company people don't know how to run a business, honestly, a lot of the ICO company, they went by 20 years old, they never really launched things in the big volume, could be risky. Some of them are very good, doesn't matter, they're smart, they can do anything they want. But many of them don't, right? So if that, in the IPO world, the investor can lead them along. But if you are very experienced, in IPO world, the investor try to milk the money. Actually, they change the direction of the company. Actually, one of the company I did is just like that. At the end, the investor screw it up. At the end, I quit. The whole company collapsed because they just care about themselves and don't care about how the company grows. But right now, the founder, the engineers actually own my company. That is the beauty of ICO. That's why I think ICO is better than IPO.
So one of the things that I love to ask people is how they got into blockchain. So before blockchain, I used to work at Deloitte as a management consultant. I worked at Citigroup and Yahoo, kind of larger companies. But now I went to my first cryptocurrency conference and I saw the potential of blockchain technology. Now my life is all consumed actually in blockchain, and there's so many opportunities. And I would love to also hear, Fred, how did you get into blockchain in terms of what you saw in the beginning and where you see it going in the next year, 5 years, in terms of the potential?
How I get into blockchain is just because a friend tell me to buy the token. I read through it. I said, this is a big opportunity. So my company at that time was doing the digital power. It's converting the analog power to digital. I was looking for application to put on that digital block. When you're digital, why just one power? Why not run other thing? Then I look at blockchain. Then it's a good thing I can do is put the blockchain code inside that device. And after I look through it and I partition it differently, I found a pattern, a pool of assignment. Then I found out that I can put the code in all connected devices. In that case, I have a very real good user case. So that's how we come by to do on the blockchain. What's the second question? Oh, how it's going? I think the market is pretty bad right now. The company who do not have a real product will not survive. I believe the whole industry will not do well until we actually can deploy into real application to penetrate a lot of households. Many people know about it. And the old money coming into the blockchain world. We are too small. 200 billion is too small. It just, if you want a successful industry, it's not that number. So we should work together and build something actually is useful. It's not only for infrastructure of blockchain, it's taking the blockchain and put it into real world, real application, everybody can benefit.
Just curious, by show of hands, how many people here are working in blockchain today? By show of hands. So who's here to learn about blockchain? Okay, cool. So I do agree with you. I think education is key. Right? If you look at the blockchain ecosystem, the global ecosystem, right? Less than 10% of people know what blockchain is, right? People who are in the space, like they're fully consumed in the space. So I guess my question is, how do we advocate for blockchain, and how do we get people educated in terms of, to your point, like how do we get them to adopt it, because they need to understand first what are some of the things that we can do to get people on board, just so that they can learn more about it and get into the space.
Now, this is what my project is doing, right? Basically, through mining, the end user will have tokens so they can start learning about it. Once you have something close to money at your hand, you will start learning how to use it, doing something about it. Now, besides that, any application can touch the end user or touch I'm on end user space, right? But there's many applications on the corporate space. I think it's going, actually corporate is going way better than end user. So if that happened, that would be the best advertisement. Doesn't matter what you do, you need to have a real utility on it. Like for example, if your program is very successful or the Mayfair program is successful, so it's a competition to Uber, everybody make more money, the middleman actually get eliminated. People will know about blockchain if people do that, right? So that is important. Eliminate the middleman is a big thing. The society become more efficient. We're just not doing a good job doing that today.
Any questions?
Or any suggestion, by the way?
Oh, answer the question.
I have one more question. So originally when NEO was released, I worked with the city of Zion for adoption in the US. And in Whoopie, there's different platforms and all, there's many Chinese-based blockchain. How can we, I'm a developer, I build on blockchain, right? How can you, what is your plan to evangelize developers to build with IOTW? How do you incentivize developers to work with IOTW if they're not in a startup, but they just want to be able to work with solutions or that, whatever, just to be able to like build a community. Where like, the city of Zion is very specific on how they accept people, and a lot of communities are very specific on how to like get tech support, right? Like Ethereum isn't like backed by a specific person, it's kind of like the community helping each other, right? How do you have a solution for developer evangelism or adoption?
Now, first of all, probably next month, I will open source IOTW micro mining code. Right now, it's in severe testing. I don't want to give you something really soft. That is not a good thing to do. But actually, right now it's pretty clean. You just need to go through all the legal procedure, talking to the lawyer, make sure that we don't do anything stupid. Anyway, once you have the micro mining source code in your hand, that's many other devices. I can upload to so many of them. Please do it for me. And make sure that we know. And you can work with us on the profiling. I work with IoT Block on the profiling to do the diagnostic and all that. And that is open to any developer. Do that. Then we complete the ecosystem. So many companies has devices, they are not connected. They want to do connected devices, they don't know how. And you don't do it for free. You sell them a reference design, okay? So you make money for yourself. You can do it. Many companies want to do it. I tell you that. I worked in China before, right? Actually, I don't work in China, but I go there business trip a lot. A lot of them just a manufacturer. They don't have engineering. They just take reference design to do stuff. So this is an opportunity, right? To add the mining code, a little bit differentiation, and then you bring them to the IoT world.
Is there a question back there? This one?
Well, yeah, just a simple question. Did you mention a wine import company or?
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out.
That is called California Wine Limited, and they are actually their boss is located in Los Angeles, in LA. But their goal is they are shipping Napa Valley wine mainly from this area or Sonoma County, and to Asia. So they are one of the, I think they're number 2 or number 1. I don't know what it is now. To export Napa Valley wine to Asia. They are not that successful in China, but they're very successful in Thailand.
So the other companies, let's say a fan company, then they can spend the token and get a lot of data back, and they can analyze it.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the value for a wine exporter. I couldn't figure
No,
out.
they are different. They just want a new set of customers. Because the guy who mined the token, they feel that they might be a little bit richer because they are in this blockchain world. So they like to buy premium wines. So they want those users. They can order their wine online. That's all it is. Just a new selling channel.
Okay.
Questions? Okay. Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much for presenting. Oh, one more question here.
So you're in a private sales stage, is it only open to accredited investors?
Yes, if I utility token, legally I only can do that.
No, that's good. I'm just asking, so you allow U.S. accredited investors to participate?
Yes, and also cooperation.
Cooperation.
Just legal.
Right.
I have to do everything legal.
No,
That's it.
got you. All right, so our ICO coming to private sector.
Yeah, I don't comment parasite. That's what we do. By the way, we are using Hong Kong jurisdiction right now today.
Yeah, so to stay connected, you can join the Telegram group. If you're in crypto, I guess everybody uses Telegram. So and also Twitter, you can follow, the pre-sale, the ICO, the pre-sale, any updates. In terms of all the new partnerships that Fred is forming, you can follow us there. And so thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much for all of you
for coming
today. We have more California wines back there and Italian wines. So have some drinks.